Raptors from Toronto, then the Spurs and Blazers from Portland. It's NBA Tip-Off presented by AT&T, coming to you from Studio J here in Atlanta. Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, and Charles Barkley. Kenny back after a momentous Saturday in the life of Kenny Smith and Kayla.
Kayla's, well, my baby's married.
What's her last name now?
Edmonds.
Edmonds.
Terrell Edmonds. Yes, indeed. And Kayla. So now it's Kayla Edmonds Smith or Smith Edmonds. I don't know.
It's Smith Edmonds.
Oh, man, that was game day.
Look how beautiful
that was
she
game
looks.
day, baby. Yesterday was game day. Woo, that was Ernie. That was tough.
I know. I called you yesterday just to say,
tough.
hey, we're thinking about you. So, and I tried to prepare you a little bit because I've done this twice with the two daughters.
It's emotional.
I did not think it would be as emotional. I felt like I was in a movie. It didn't feel like it was real.
Did you cry?
Oh, I teared up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
What was your daughter, daddy's song?
Well, first we started with Sugar Pie Honey Bunch. That was a song that I used to sing to her. But then we went into Frankie Beverly, You Make Me Happy. As you know, that was my mom's favorite song.
Yep.
So we went into that, and we did our little dance. I did my hustle. We had the whole place going crazy. Woo!
Great to have you back.
Yes,
Congrats,
indeed.
man.
Yes.
Now you're a father-in-law.
He's laughing at me now because I'm still emotional about it. Yeah. But, Rel, he's a great guy. I tell you, he's a great guy.
He's a football player, right?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Last year was with the Raiders. His brothers.
You think he could tackle me?
You know what? He has both of his brothers played in the NFL.
I'm saying, you think he could tackle me?
Easily. Easily.
Okay.
I'm
Put it
like this.
Bring him in the studio one night.
Yes, indeed.
I'll truck him.
I'm not even sure if I could call Shaq if I get in some trouble. He got some big brothers. I'll tell you right now.
Hey, we'll handle them Edmond brothers.
Are we ready to get to work here for an hour?
Congrats.
Let's do that. Game 3 of the Cavs-Raptors series became the Toronto version of an Oscar-winning film. Because while both Scotty Barnes and R.J. Barrett went for 33 on Thursday night, it was second-year man Jamison Battle who fueled a fourth-quarter run that broke open a tie game. Battle saw mop-up minutes in Game 1, didn't play in Game 2, had played 7 scoreless minutes in Game 3, and then he went off. It was one battle after another. He had 14 fourth-quarter points, hit all 5 shots he took, 4 of those from deep, as the Raptors got on the board in this series. I caught up with Jamison Battle this morning. Jamison, can you tell me what the last 24, 48, 72 hours have been like in your life?
Yeah, it's been super cool. Obviously having a good performance in Game 3, but I think the biggest thing for me was just contributing to win and helping the team win. I think that's all I really care about, regardless of how many points I score, how much I play. I just want to see this team win, and I think seeing us win Game 3, seeing the momentum change a little bit, and bringing that to Game 4, that's our biggest focus, and that's my biggest focus as well.
You know, it's one of the things I love about playoff basketball is sometimes it's a guy whose name is not on the marquee who becomes the story, who hears 20,000 folks screaming his name and you're getting chest bumped by teammates. Can you just tell me what that was like on Thursday night?
Yeah, it was special. I mean, that's just the type of group we have, just the belief in everyone, regardless of if you're man 14 or you're man number 1. I think it's just being ready for that moment and being ready for the opportunity, regardless of where you are on the depth chart. You're always ready to go, and I think that's just professionalism that we have as a group, and that's just a family-oriented team we have, just because the belief in everybody is just so special. And then seeing that come to fruition and just being ready, staying ready, and just having an opportunity in a playoff game like that is it's pretty cool.
I do want to kind of walk through that end of third quarter into the fourth quarter thing. So Darko put you in the game late in the third quarter. Did you think it was okay for the rest of the quarter, or did you know, hey, when we go to the fourth in a 2-point game, I'm on the floor?
You know, I had no idea. I think the biggest thing for me is just trying to stay present, not really worrying about what's happened in the past or not really worrying about what's going to happen in the future, just remaining where my 2 feet are, and I think that's what I did, and that's what I tried to emulate, and I think that's what we try to emulate as a team as well. But just going in there when I'm on the floor, just trying to make an impact on defense, trying to make an impact on offense, and just bringing some juice for this team.
Everybody talks about the three-pointers you hit, but how important was that floater you hit for your first bucket in terms of
I think
comfort level and confidence?
Yeah, I think it's just something that gets you going, and I think just the way Scotty orchestrated that, and that's just the type of player he is, to put you in those types of positions. So for me, it was getting the screen, getting the switch, and then finding that opening and floating it over the top against Evan Mobley, and I think that's something that's an easy one to get you going, and then from there, it was just takeoff mode. When I had an open shot, I was ready to let it fly, and I think that's just the MO of shooters in this organization. Just when you're open, take the space, take the shot, and I think that's what Darko preached to us a few days before, just saying that we need to get more threes up, and when there was an opportunity, I knew I was going to get it up.
First experience in the playoffs, obviously. Not a whole lot of guys on your team have a lot of experience. What prepared you for the postseason, and what is the biggest difference between a regular season game and a postseason game from what you've seen now?
Yeah, I think one is just the atmosphere, but just the heightened competition. Understanding that, you have one series. You got to take it one game at a time within the series, and understanding that every game is important, and just from there you got to make the right adjustments, and you got to realize that every little thing matters. I mean, it's easy to say that in the regular season because there's 82 games, but really when there's 7 guaranteed games, if that, you know that there's so much important things that you have to look at, and it's all those little things, those minute details that really matter, and I think that's what we do a good job of from players, not only coaches, but just players. We all try to hone in on those little details to make sure that we're impacting winning.
Everybody knows you're one of the great saxophone players in the NBA. Have you played for your teammates?
I haven't played it. It sits under my bed back home in Minnesota, so there's a few times in the summer where I go back home, I got nothing else to do, I'll pull out the saxophone a little bit, but it's been a minute.
I appreciate your time this morning. Good luck in Game 4 of this series, all right?
Thank you, Ernie.
I appreciate you. Happy for that guy.
Yeah.
And again, that's one of the things I love, when somebody who's not the marquee name comes up. Ayo Dosunmu last night goes for 43.
But the thing that's really cool about it, you showed he didn't get to play in Game 2. Like, players always whine about not getting playing time, and then when they get a chance to play, the moment's too big for them. Him being ready to play, man, that's great for him. He put a lot of hard work into that.
So we're sitting on a 2-1 series, Kenny. Toronto has shot 50% or better in all 3 games. They've done this without their point guard, Emmanuel Quickley. What do you make of Toronto and where they stand in this series right now, heading into Game 4?
Well, the one thing about it, they have pressure release guys. Scotty Barnes can bring up the ball, as well as Brandon Ingram, as well as R.J. Barrett. So in terms of when you try to pressure them, they have 3 perimeter guys who are great ball handlers. And then you have Battle in to shoot the shot. So you had the perimeter covered in terms of spacing. I think that is one of the biggest things that I think Cleveland is not expecting, is the size on that perimeter with Barnes and Ingram, and you bring in Battle, and you bring in all of these guys. They have, and R.J. Barrett, they have length and size. And R.J. Barrett is just having a hell of a series based on the fact that he is the mismatch that they can't cover. It's like if we put our best defender on Ingram, or Barnes, he gets loose. And he is 6'9", handles the basketball, really a guard. When he was a Knick, he was a 2 guard. And this is now, he's playing more of a 3 as well. But who do you put on him? But that size between Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, those are tough covers for all of those guys to defend.
He's averaging 26, shooting 64% in the series and 60% from 3. He's 9 out of 15. Meantime, Toronto's leading scorer is Brandon Ingram. He's done nothing in this series.
Yeah, he's, he has to know and understand in this moment. Kenny has always said this is where you make a name for yourself. He hasn't played well at all, really relying on that jump shot. I played with a lot of shooters that when they weren't scored, D. Scott, Glenn Rice, they would automatically put the ball down, get to the hole, get fouled, go to the free throw line, and then come back out. He hasn't showed up at all.
Cleveland's defense, little something lacking so far through 3 games. Last 2 games, 60 points in the paint allowed at least. Yeah. And again, Toronto shooting 50% in every game.
Well, I think Cleveland got kind of lackadaisical because they won the first 2 games pretty easily. And then the Raptors came out and punched them in the mouth with intensity and finished them off down the stretch. They ended up beating them kind of bad, actually. But this is, to me, is a big game for Cleveland because, this is my team that come out of the East. They kind of relax. They don't relaxed players. You know, they have players. I've said the one thing, they don't have no killers. They're all really good players. But they don't have that one guy who's like a natural born killer, as I call it.
You call irritant as well? They don't have the irritant. So
they don't have an irritant. Like I always said, if you're gonna have a good team, you gotta have a crazy dude. They don't have that.
Yeah,
but Mobley to me is the guy. He's Defensive Player of the Year. He should take the challenge. And you know how I feel about Jared Allen. He's one of the most talented big guys in the league, but he's just a really nice guy.
He's had no double-doubles in the series, 2 offensive rebounds in 80 minutes.
I told you, I love his game, but he's one of those guys who's just a really nice guy. If he had a motor, he'd be one of the best players in the NBA. But today, this game to me, I know what I'm going to get from Donovan and James. To me, the big guys, Kenny say Barrett's a matchup. If you're the Defensive Player of the Year, you got to do like Rudy Gobert's doing, like, I'm the Defensive Player of the Year. I'm going to go against the joke and do my thing. To me, it's got to be Evan Mobley. But Allen and Mobley got to play well today and going forward if Cleveland's going to get out of the East.
You seeing a 2-2 series here? You seeing a 3-1 Cavs?
I mean, you know, I hate when players switch up. You know, we talk about the same thing every year when it comes to Donovan and James Harden. You got to step up in big moments. First 2 games, they played off each other very well. And, you know, last game, one had 15, one had 18. James had 8 turnovers. That's not going to get it done. They know this. They understand it. Even though their defense was bad, you know, Toronto was shooting 50%, they still won the first 2 games because, you know, the other 2 guys from Cleveland, they score. So if they score the ball and play well, I think they should be able to done. You know, it's hard when you're a superstar. You got to score. You got to get others involved. You got to play defense. You got to stay out of foul trouble. So for James and Donovan, they have to dominate offensively, period.
So if those things happen, you're seeing 3-1?
Yes.
Okay. It's game 4 between the Cavs and the Raptors. That's what gets us started here today on ESPN. The Jet trying not to cry, talking about his daughter's wedding.
Yeah,
Big C. O'Neal.
Big C. O'Neal.
What's up, cuz?
I ain't gonna lie.
You called him cuz.
100%
Call him cuz.
Listen, I'm 100% right.
Costly win for Minnesota last night as they took a 3-1 lead over the Denver Nuggets. Dante DiVincenzo tore his Achilles early in that game. Guy who started all 82 games this season and now out for the rest of the playoffs. And then later in the first half, it's Anthony Edwards who came down awkwardly underneath the basket.
Oh.
Jeez. And so you saw the hyperextension on Edwards on the left knee, and now we're left to wonder what exactly is the status of Anthony Edwards for the rest of these playoffs. And just the man who can answer that question is Shams Charania, who joins us now. So Shams, what's the latest on Ant?
Ernie, so Anthony Edwards had an MRI late last night in Minneapolis, and sources told me this morning that he has sustained a bone bruise in that left knee with that hyperextension. The good news for him, there's no ACL damage, there's no other ligament. It's not a serious structural issue, but this injury will sideline him for multiple weeks. So he's going to be out through the remainder of this series against the Denver Nuggets, and they're up 3-1. Obviously, last night losing your starting backcourt for the rest of this series. Now they're going to play on without Anthony Edwards, and he's going to start rest and rehab immediately. And guys, he had runner's knee in his opposite knee, the right knee, that he's had a PRP injection in, that he's had to really mitigate a lot of the swelling, the inflammation that's in that knee. So now it's the opposite knee that has this bone bruising injury that will now sideline him for at least 2 weeks.
Wow.
On another front, that game ended kind of in a strange way with McDaniels making the bucket, and he's charged by Joker, and I know the league's going to be going through all that video. Any idea of what punishments might be or when they might be forthcoming?
Ernie, what the league typically does is the day after an incident like this, they start their investigation process. That means reviewing the footage for sure, but that also means interviewing the people involved. So whether that's Nikola Jokic, Jaden McDaniels, we saw multiple players on both sides of the bench here. Rudy Gobert, Bones Highland, at least, and then there was Aaron Gordon and Jonas Valanciunas both leaving the Denver bench. And so what happens with both of them? But obviously, even the players that left the Denver bench, they weren't really involved in the vicinity of this situation. So the league is going to review all this. They're going to interview everyone involved like they always do and come into some kind of ruling here. But talking to people on both sides, there's obviously an expectation there's going to be some fines. Not sure if there's going to be anything more than that. Aaron Gordon's status, whether he gets suspended or not suspended, is very much up in the air with that calf injury.
Shams Charania, great information as always. Appreciate you taking the time this morning. Thanks.
Thank you.
So, fellas, look, if you lead a series 3-1, you win that series 96% of the time. But this is a different animal. You're up 3-1, but your starting backcourt is out. So how do you see this going back to Denver 3-1?
Chuck made a very good point last night. You just have to concentrate on one game. Young fella needs to understand. What's his name? I don't want to mispronounce his name. The guy that came off the bench had all those points.
Oh, Battle.
No.
Or Ayo Dosunmu.
Yeah, so Ayo Dosunmu must understand that they're going to treat him like Anthony Edwards now. They're going to adjust, and they're going to say, we're not going to let you get off. And they're just going to, they're going to play a little bit harder in Denver. They're still upset about the fiasco at the end of the game. But, Minnesota just has to concentrate and just buckle down for one game. They have to realize that, Denver's going to have some runs at the crib, but we just got to focus on one game, and that's the game you're playing. You can't say, okay, well, let's just go play and see what happens and then get back home and, try to win that game. It's a must-win. It's a must-win for Minnesota.
You were not here last night, but Ayo Dosunmu goes for 43.
Oh, I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it afterwards.
What was your biggest takeaway? What?
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Chuck.
When did you watch it?
You just said you went to bed early.
I watched it on the app. Thank you very much.
In the middle of the wedding.
On the app.
In the middle of the wedding.
No, afterwards.
Right when my man was saying, get ready to say, I do. Hey, hold on what I do. I'm watching.
In the makeup room, you said
Why you just tell a lie like that on national television?
In the makeup room, you said you went to bed at 11 and went and got shut down.
You were not watching the game.
Thank you, Chuck.
You stop it.
Thank you, Chuck.
So anyway,
back to where we were.
Dosunmu, has always been thought of prior to this as a really good player, meaning he was an All-American in college, All-American in college, a lottery pick. Then he gets to the NBA, and he's always been a backup guy, a backup singer. And, we'll see a lot of times when you're not on the scouting report, so to speak. When I say you're not on the scouting report, you're not the guy who we're stopping. We're the guy that we might let get some buckets to let things happen. And now you're on the scouting report. And that is now going to be a different environment for him, because when he comes off pick and rolls now, he becomes doubled. He gets into areas of the floor. We have thought process about you. Now, some guys can still do that. And this could be your coming out party, Dosunmu. Or this could be, no, he really is a backup singer. He's not a lead singer. So we will see if this is the Dosunmu who was drafted and everyone thought could be, and now is becoming that person this series.
Well, I think number one, it's two different teams, obviously. So for me, Minnesota's got to be Julius Randle. Like last night, we talked about it at halftime. He's got to become Ant Edwards. He's the next best player on that team, and he played great in the second half. Now he's got to take that for the rest of this series. But from Denver, I think Coach Adelman has done an awful job.
Really?
Helping the Joker, because the reason the kid from Minnesota's doing great, they're attacking Joker in the pick and roll. So if you go back and look at all those plays we showed, they're attacking Joker. But I don't like what Coach Adelman is doing with Joker. Joker is not a post-up guy to go one-on-one. He's got to do a much better job putting Rudy in the pick and roll. Because remember, when those other teams play against Rudy, they attack him in a double team. In the pick and roll. So I think Coach Adelman got to stop just trying to get a ball to Joker, because that's not his game. But put him in the pick and roll and attack Rudy, and that'll help the Joker free up, because he's not free at all right now. Because even when he's making a shot, it's really difficult.
Game 5 Monday in Denver. Nuggets trying to stay alive against the banged-up Timberwolves.
You're right, Dre. Come on, man. Stop lying. You know damn well you wasn't watching the game during the wedding.
No, I didn't watch it during the wedding.
It was going on during the wedding.
No, there's a call.
Maybe
they
during
do
the
a
reception.
repeat.
It was on during the reception?
They do a repeat on the app.
What, of the wedding?
Went to bed early.
And looks at the closing stages of Game 3 between the Spurs and the Blazers. San Antonio overcoming a 15-point deficit in the final 17 minutes of that game. They had a 21-5 run. They had a 12-0 run. And now they lead that series 2-1, doing that without Victor Wembanyama because of the concussion that he suffered in Game 2. So the question heading into Game 4, Wemby's status after that concussion. We head to Portland, where the dancers are in full stride and where Malika Andrews is standing by.
Standing by, Ernie, or dancing by a little bit? But you're absolutely right. The story of this game here is Victor Wembanyama. So let's just walk through the timeline that Victor has gone through since he sustained that concussion on Tuesday, right? Remember that he has to be away from basketball games for 48 hours at least, and until both the league and the team doctors clear him. So on Wednesday, that's 24 hours after that concussion was sustained, that's when he was able to get on the bike. He was able to do a little bit of light cardio, and he's still doing 2 neurological tests per day. On Thursday, that's when he was able to start doing some non-contact basketball activities that then ramped up on Friday. So the San Antonio Spurs, they were actually hopeful that he was going to be available, that he was going to be able to play on Friday. Obviously, that's not what came to fruition, but it was a good sign that he was in the arena. It was an incredibly loud, rocking environment, and with head injuries, sometimes that's not advised. So the fact that he felt well enough to be able to do that, that says something. I saw Victor yesterday. He went to the team's film session. He was all smiled. He seemed to be in a really good mood. And it's looking like we're going to know about 10 o'clock whether or not he's going to be able to go for this game. My understanding is there is some level of optimism that he's going to be available. But again, remember, there are multiple people, multiple doctors, both on the team side and on the league side, that are eventually going to have to clear him if he's going to be able to play. They are very, very cautious when it comes to concussions here, but they're hopeful. In the meantime, what they saw from Dylan Harper, what they were able to see from Stephon Castle, that was really encouraging for San Antonio. And if you're able to add Victor back into that mix, they're really optimistic about their chances in this series, Ernie.
Malika Andrews, thank you very much, and great concentration given what's going on behind.
I'm joining the party now, Ernie.
You.
I'm going to join the party now.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Got it. Let's go, girl.
and you know what else? What else is really special? Is we'll be talking to your husband in the next segment. Dave McMenamin, your husband, will be joining us.
I could not concentrate.
Make him do the move.
They was trying to battle us, Ernie.
It was a dance off with the Portland Trailblazers dancing
awesome.
team. We're ready.
Tell them they doing that dance routine wrong back there.
Everyone on Inside the NBA says y'all are rocking right now, and they're ready for a dance battle. They're ready to take you on, Chuck. It's you versus them.
That's no contest.
Battle.
All right, thank you very much.
Couldn't even concentrate. I was like, what is he saying?
I know. If it's even possible to get this back to Game 4 between the Spurs and the Blazers.
You know what song I was thinking while they was dancing?
I was trying to get us back to basketball. No, what song were you thinking about?
To be honest with you, it was hard to concentrate, Ernie.
What? Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper.
I love
sensational the other night.
Mr. Harper, a good friend of ours, better be worried, because his son is coming. He's going to be the best player in the family soon. To me, Castle, I love Castle.
Yes.
I mean, I started watching him when we were at UConn a couple years
Breaking
ago.
a sweat from that dance routine there. Working up.
Lost a lot of weight, but you ain't in shape. Lost a lot of weight, but he ain't in shape.
That's right. You know the only thing I'm really thinking? The only thing I'm really thinking.
Bruno Mars concert last night.
Oh, my God. I love me some Bruno Mars. But the only thing I'm thinking is which one of y'all going to give me mouth to mouth?
Oh, no, that's all right.
I mean,
Kenny.
Closest.
I failed that class.
But Castle and Dylan, man, they got a bunch of really good players. I'm curious about the Wembanyama situation. Are they going to play him or just give him a few more days off? Because it would be must play if they had a lost Game 3.
Yeah.
But I wonder if because number one, they still got a good solid team with or without the Wembanyama. So I just wonder what their mindset is gonna be. Because if you they don't probably play again the Tuesday or Wednesday.
They'll play Tuesday.
They'll play Tuesday, so he'd have almost a week off, basically. So, but I hope he plays today because he's such a great kid. And like I say, they got a great medical staff down there, and they're going to make a good decision.
The Spurs took 2 out of 3 from them in the regular season. Wemby didn't play in any of those games.
Wow.
Go ahead.
I would like to see him play if he's 1,000% healthy. You know, one thing you know with the Spurs, aka the system, they're going to play the same way. So, you know, the 2 young fellas out there they're playing phenomenal. They always play that way, you know, with or without Victor Wembanyama. They're confident now. They're super confident now. Portland has to make a lot of adjustments, but if I was San Antonio staff, like you said, Chuck, I would not play him this game, let him get a week off, and then we get back to the crib, get back to our doctors, hook him up with some of that icy hot. He'll be ready to go.
Dylan Harper, by the way, youngest in NBA history to score at least 25 off the bench.
Wow.
And as he did the other night when he had 27. So on the other side, we're seeing like a breakout performance for Scoot Henderson.
Yes.
Missed 51 games this season. And what's he scored right now? This year? What, 23 a night? And this is from a guy who in the regular season was scoring 14.
Yeah, what it is, Ernie, is in the playoffs, the scouting report is we're going to go under screens, not let him get in this scenario, in transition. So we don't want him in transition. We don't want him in that mid-range because he's so physical. That's where his 14 points a game come to. And this is when, and Shaq alluded to earlier, the regular season you make your name, the playoffs you make your fame. And because now the scouting reports go under the screen, and he's like, no, that is not the scouting report on me anymore. I worked on this all summer, and I've been knocking down shots from 3, and I also have a step-back 3 that I just wasn't using as much. And now, because he's playing more minutes, he's getting to show that he can now knock down the 3. And that was the only knock on him coming into the league. He was physical enough, he was athletic enough, he was strong enough, and it was like, can he knock down the 3 consistently to get to those things that he's great at? And that's what's happening in this series.
And well, he's 12 out of 23 from deep.
And you look at the good young teams in the NBA. Charlotte's got a good young team. The Atlanta Hawks got a good young team. Portland might be the best one out of the group. They got a bunch of really good young players, but we never show them. I don't know if they've been on national television at all. I watched them play last week against the Suns. I said, the Suns can't beat them. I said that going into the play-in. And I thought this would be a very good series. They're young. They got a really bright future. Coach Splitter's done a fabulous job.
He really has.
He's done a fabulous job, especially with all the noise was around that team. But so I'm looking forward to this game.
Yeah.
You said an interesting stat. I didn't know they had beaten them all those times without Wemby.
Yeah.
That's a good nugget right there.
Meantime, Denny Abdi has been
he's been
good.
amazing.
And also you got the veteran presence of a guy like Drew Holiday, who's an NBA champion, who's played 100 games now in his playoff career.
You know, I love Drew Holiday.
One of 18 in the NBA. Active players.
Easy, Kevin. Easy, Kevin.
As Chuck,
I'm glad you had the right 3 of those.
Whoa.
Hey, put your hands on your hip. Put your hands on your hips.
That was tremendous.
Put your hands on your hips.
Hands on your hips.
Well, you certainly find out about teams in the playoffs.
This has been very gritty tonight.
Lakers led by as many as 15. The Rockets lead by 4. James way outside. Stepping by Şengün. A steal and slam. Alperen Şengün owns the night.
And the Rockets are going to be able to close this one out.
You know, the game's never over till the zeros on the clock.
Smart steps in front.
Smart, a contested 3. He's fouled way out high.
Just wanted to make a play. Just wanted to give us a chance. I just used my instincts. I shot the 3 and got the foul, which turned into a one-possession game.
Once it comes back in, all right, we're going to try to get 2 traps, get a steal.
Up by 3, 25.4 to go. James is there to greet him.
LeBron poked it away and stole it.
and he turns it over. Get it ahead for James. Slaps it over to Kennard. Lakers are down by 3. For the top. It's gone. LeBron James is money. 101. 101.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
We're going to overtime in Houston.
Come on, fellas. Let's go win it. Let's go win it. Let's go.
Go to the other side. Smart. Got a 3. 104-101 LA.
Marcus Smart is just doing everything with his effort out here.
Marcus Smart has come through. 20 points. And the Lakers win it. A commanding 3-0 lead in the series. Los Angeles with a gutty victory in overtime. 112-108.
You describe Marcus Smart as battle-tested.
To have M. Dot on our team, I know he's battle-tested. It's great to have him on the side.
What I'm talking about, boy. Battle tested. You already know.
Way to work, fellas. One more, baby. One more.
We said it before the game, we said at halftime, poise and composure. That was the ultimate test of our poise and composure. Elevate your recovery, do what's necessary. Tonight took a lot out of all of us. Be ready to go on Sunday.
Together, man. 1, 2, 3.
Together.
All right, so the Lakers seeking a sweep of the Rockets tonight. Kevin Durant has played just one of the 3 games in this series. What's his status in this elimination game 4? Dave McMenamin is in Houston. We just spoke with Dave's wife, Malika, who had the dancers. I'm very disappointed, Dave. There are no dancers behind you?
Yeah, just some of the support staff getting ready for a pickup game. What can I do?
So what's KD up to tonight?
Kevin Durant's in the building at the practice facility this morning. I'm told that he's continued his round-the-clock rehab on that left ankle of his. In Game 3, it was noticeable that he wasn't on the bench, but Ime Udoka told us reporters that he's actually was doing some underwater treadmill work as the game was going on. That same type of rehab has continued into Sunday, and the good thing about Game 4, it's a late tip-off, so he has even extra time to try to get his body right. Now, make of this what you will. Amen Thompson was asked about an hour ago how KD is feeling, and he said, to be honest with you, I don't know. So whether that means KD's been doing all of his rehab away from the team or the team hasn't really necessarily been checking in on him, that's another dynamic to look for as we head towards tip-off.
Dave, any indication from the Lakers if Luka or Austin Reeves are any closer to being able to play?
You know, Austin had a oblique injury that was supposed to have a 4 to 6 week recovery window. He's just past basically 3.5 weeks right now. It was surprising to some folks around the team that he was upgraded to questionable for Game 3. He was able to go to the arena yesterday for some shots. He's still questionable for Game 4, and I imagine just like he did for Game 3, he'll get out there on the court, see how things feel, check in with the medical staff, check in with the coaching staff in the front office, and they'll make a decision. But when you're up 3-0, there's no need necessarily to try to rush him back for today's game. As for Luka Doncic, he's back from Spain after getting treatment on that hamstring. He's around the team. He is in Houston with the team, but there's been no progression in terms of his on-court work. He did some very light shooting in LA before the team got to Houston, but there's still some time before we're going to start circling a calendar date when he could be back on the court in an actual game.
Dave McMenamin, the support staff game, not nearly as compelling as the pregame in Portland, but thank you for the information. We appreciate you. How do you shake that Game 3 off if you are the Houston Rockets? That seemed to me to be devastating, Shaq.
They definitely gave that game away. You know, lack of concentration down the stretch. You know, you got to play with more energy. Listen, Turkish Terminator play well, some didn't play well. They play well most of the game, but listen, 30 seconds, up 6. You know, you can't make those minimal mistakes. Like right there, Marcus Smart.
That's one.
Right here, veteran player right here. He knew the guy was hungry all on him.
Oh, that's the same play.
No,
Bam.
2 mistakes in one
Yeah,
play.
two mistakes.
Bad
So,
pass
you know,
and
just
It's
right
three.
here.
It's 3.
Got to put that ball in front of you. So, there's just a
There's
lack
4.
of concentration.
Nobody rushing back. Yep. Gotcha.
And then LeBron and the battle-tested Lakers took advantage of it.
Ernie,
Yes, Charles.
number one, that was one of the worst choke jobs I've ever seen. But the one
Ever?
Yeah, it's one of them. But the one good thing about the Rockets, Houston has one of the best airports in the country.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, they got 2 airports there. They got Intercontinental
And they got
Hobby. So tomorrow morning, they're going to be able to get a great plane trip to a great destination.
Oh, they're not going to Galveston?
You know,
So you're saying it's over?
Hell yeah, it's over. Wait, Kenny, you
Send them to
think
Galveston,
it's
Chuck.
over?
I think the Lakers will win the series, but I think the Rockets will win tomorrow.
Tonight.
I mean tonight.
Playing tonight.
Okay, they might win tomorrow. They're not gonna win today.
I think the one thing that, because the inexperience is what made them lose. I think the inexperience might help them tonight. Meaning, like saying that we're inexperienced, we're trying to get a win, and we're trying to have some salvage. And if Kevin Durant does come back, there would be a shot in the building of energy. But again, I wouldn't say choke. I just say it's inexperience of understanding time, score, and what to do. And when you become in those situations, because at one time before we were Clutch City, you know what they called us? Choke City. Mm-hmm. And we were Choke City because we lost 2 games. We were up 20. They came back on both games, up 20 in the second half, and the Phoenix Suns beat us, and they were calling us Choke City. And we changed the narrative. We were down 3-1 and changed the narrative. So they could change the narrative, but that is an inexperience of what to do and close out a game more than anything else.
Yeah.
And talk about
Get them some good flights. You know, they might deserve to go to Galveston. If they don't quit.
Talk about it, Chuck.
If they don't quit today.
Talk about it, Chuck.
If they get blown out by 20 and pack it in, we're going to send them to Galveston.
Yes.
And what's
I agree with
Galveston?
that.
You heard the term battle tested a couple of times as LeBron was talking.
Nice people.
This will be 296, career playoff game 296
Wow.
for LeBron James, 112 for Marcus Smart as the Lakers look for a sweep of the Houston Rockets.
Trey, you're 100% right.
I didn't watch the
Stop
live
lying,
game.
man.
I watched the repeat.
Stop lying,
Here it
Kenny.
is. I watched the repeat.
Come on.
I watched the
Why you
repeat.
tell a lie on national television?
I didn't watch the live game, fool.
We'll come back, talk a little bit about Jaylen Brown. But look, this is a tight game, and this play really swung the pendulum in favor of Boston. Derek White did not have a great night shooting the ball, but he always makes the play. He gets the offensive rebound. This is eventually going to wind up in the hands of Tatum, and he will cash out for
Hands up.
3. And suddenly a 1-point game with 2:19 becomes a Celtic win, 108-100. Look, Philly's given them a battle. You agree?
They trying hard.
Yeah.
You know, listen, you know I love Maxey and I love VJ. They just don't have enough. Those 2 kids are playing as hard as they can. They're competing. The game is 6-1. The Celtics, they can go through those cold stretches on the threes, which they did in game 2. But they just got a better team, more depth than the Sixers. The Sixers doing the best they can under the circumstances. You know, they're in that organization is in trouble.
Which one?
Philadelphia.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, because as great a player as Joel Embiid is, he can't stay healthy. And he's there for another couple of years, and Paul George's there for another couple of years. But Max and VJ are doing the best they can, but the Celtics are just a better team.
Doesn't it make you wonder, though, and this is the question that's asked 8 billion times, if Joel Embiid were healthy, how would this series look?
If Charles, I ain't gonna say it, but I mean, we don't know. We'll never know. You know, he hasn't been healthy for a long time, and it's unfortunate because, he was one of my favorite players. I remember 3 or 4 years ago, we was talking, him and Joker back to back as, who is the best big man in the league. But, we can't rely on ifs. They are playing hard, just not good enough. And but Boston has to do a better job of not fiddling around with teams, and if they want to win another championship, they got to put lesser teams away early.
Boston, to your point on the threes, plus 42 in this series from the promised land.
Yeah, I had to disagree. I have to agree with Charles, meaning just too much to overcome on a nightly basis. Can you do it on a night? Yes, but on a nightly basis, no. Boston Celtics have a complete basketball team. They are one of the favorites to possibly win an NBA championship this year. And to answer your question about Joel Embiid, that would be the same thing if we said, if this was happening to Joker 3 years ago, and we say every year he gets hurt, what would Denver be? We would never know, because the guy, Joker, stays healthy, Embiid can't. They were neck and neck as the best 2 players in basketball. They had the same impact on the game. One won an MVP, the other would win. They had the same impact. They do not have that because of health.
Celtics-Sixers, third of 4 games on this Sunday. There's Donovan Mitchell, had 30-plus in the first 2 games, held to 15 in Game 3.